What is up, you beautiful people? It is your girl, El Danielle, aka LaCourtney Maddox, aka Mrs. Maddox Motivations, coming at you from my home office. And I want to jump back into something we were talking about before. I took a little bit of a hiatus from videos, which was narcissism and why it's so popular. So it has been a buzzword probably really since the pandemic. Maybe a little bit before that, but definitely since the pandemic, it's like it's brought everyone out. Everyone's a narcissist, right? Like that's how it feels. That's what it sounds like. And so there could be some confusion about like what exactly is that and why is that a thing? And like who started this with this word and what is all that? So let's go to our handy dandy livery. Where's my book? Look up here. He's up here. Let's get my DSM-5, y'all. Yes, I'm rocking my 70s vibe today. Just feeling fro. So, let's see as we flip through. See what we can find here. Oh, this just has the codes. Don't mind me, I'm just flipping. This is testament to how like rare this disorder is, like as far as people being diagnosed with it and things like that. Most people who are narcissists are not going in for therapy. They don't think they have any problems, and yeah, they're like, there's nothing wrong. So there's that. It's rare that people are diagnosed, but it is a thing. And so let's get into it and why it is so prevalent right now. 6:45. 69, still flipping. Da 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 da. All right, so it is a type of personality disorder. It is a pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy. That there's levels to everything, but yeah, I just had some thoughts. So yeah, it can be a bit complicated. Now, when you say, when we say like narcissism and we look at grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy, that could be everyone, right? I mean, we're in an age right now where a lot of people want to be social media famous. I'm not a narcissist though. And a lot of people want to be admired for what they do. But also a lack of empathy. Okay. Think about people who road rage. They don't have any empathy. Does that make them a narcissist? You see how that could, like, those kinds of things, and if you imagine those in behaviors as far as like people, that could be everyone, anywhere, at any time. And perhaps that could be part of the reason why it's so such a big thing right now, that a lot of people are saying like everyone's a narcissist, because somehow it implies, in today's time, that they're self-centered. Well, being self-centered is not all that bad, to be honest. I mean, if you think about biology and nature and all of that, in order for species and people and things to survive, you kind of got to make sure you're looking out for yourself. So that's not a bad thing, you know? But it's like the energy that is attached to something when we say self-centered or even selfish. What does it mean to be selfish? Being selfish means you're about yourself, right? But it implies, in today's time, it implies that somehow you're inconsiderate of others. That's not necessarily true. If someone is selfish, that means like they're kind of like about themselves. Well, you should be. Like, who else should you be about? Everyone else? And this is what happens when we have on the extreme, the opposite end. When you really start getting into it, you can have people talking about narcissism and empaths. Okay, there is a thing with that. There are empaths, there are narcissists, but it's almost like two extremes, two ends of of the same spectrum. It's really interesting, and often empaths and narcissists attract each other. They attract each other. Um, it can become interesting when people are saying like, okay, well, I was with a narcissist, this person, they did this, they did that, and I'm sure they did. I'm pretty sure they did, right? People who have narcissistic personality disorder, which again, that's rarely diagnosed, but people with those traits who probably are undiagnosed narcissists, they can be, and even then there's levels to it. They can be very charming. They can be very, they could be like someone like when you meet them, they're everything I've ever imagined them to be, and everything I've ever wanted, and they just know me inside out. Well, no, they know you inside out because they're mirroring you, right? They're studying you. You're a specimen, okay? And this is kind of where it's like, how do you know, like, if a person genuinely is caring about you, considerate of you, and like really is about you and wanting to get to know you, or are they being a narcissist? Are they about themselves and just really all for them? And so, if you've ever had an encounter with a narcissist, 10 times out of 10, you know what that's a feeling, that's a sting, that's a stain on your emotion that you will never forget, ever. And so it's like, as you're learning about this, if you have questions about if you've ever potentially encountered a narcissist, right? Then some of the things you need to look out for is like, how do I feel around this person? There is a such thing as like someone coming in fast and soon and connecting to you energetically, really like fresh out the gate, and you guys are everything for each other, and they can't imagine life without you, and you can't imagine life without them, but it's only been like 3 weeks. Like, hold up, that's a little soon. But now there's like, you all are making plans to like live together and do all these things, and you just met them like a week ago. Like, I know those are extreme examples. I'm just saying, like, things to pay attention to are how fast it's moving, how you feel. There's nothing wrong with having these positive, happy feelings of infatuation, right? It can actually be like, feel like you get this sense of euphoria with this person and around this person. You just want to be around them all the time. But start to pay attention to the action, not just the feeling when you're with a person, the action behind it. Okay? Like, who's benefiting? That question right there. That question right there, okay, is like if I could encourage anybody who may be wondering if they're going through this, if they've had certain experiences, who was benefiting? Not emotionally, right? That's a part of it, but ultimately, who was doing the giving and who was doing the taking? And was it balanced? Were you doing more giving? Were you doing more taking? With like, this could apply to you. And so it can become kind of complicated, especially when we get into different, like, you have a malignant narcissist and a covert narcissist and an overt narcissist. Like, whoa, that's a whole area that's like, you don't want that. Not saying you don't want that person. I'm saying like, you just, that kind of experience, because people are people, right? People do people-y things, like, for real. I'm just saying, who's benefiting? Who's doing the giving and who's doing the taking? And one of the most important and pertinent things to understand about this scenario, these types of relationships and situationships, these could even be family members. It doesn't always have to be like a romantic interest. This can be your family. Yeah. Boundaries. Boundaries. This is a dead giveaway, usually for someone who has ill intentions for you. Especially if you're just meeting them, especially if it's super fresh. If you set a boundary with this person and not like, oh, you can't call me until after this time and blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't have to, girl, come on. Or dude, my guy, you don't have to do all that, right? I'm just saying, when you know that there are things that you are doing in your life because you are working on yourself, hopefully you are healing and doing all these things before you get into a relationship with someone, right? You're wanting to make sure that you're in your optimal space, or at least try to be working on some things, right? That's all of us. We're human. The point I'm trying to make is, I feel like I'm getting wordy. The point I'm trying to make is boundaries. Remember, you were you before them. What were you doing before them? If you find that you are starting to adjust and rearrange and all kinds of things for another person, then perhaps you could be dealing with a narcissist. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Again, the question to ask yourself is, who's benefiting? Who's benefiting? And so if there's a mutually beneficial exchange, okay, but this is something that you want to really assess and evaluate, and always remember, like, keep you first. Keep you first. Keep doing what you're doing. And if someone is having a problem with the things that you're doing in your life, then you could be dealing with someone who has negative, ill intent for you. Could be a narcissist, someone with NPD, right? Or at least those traits. And so all of us have some form of traits like that within us. All of us do. We're all human. We all have some areas that we may have that are like considered toxic, right? And so we all have to do our personal growth and our personal work. But if you find that you're like, you feel when you get around this person, you feel funny, trust that. Trust that. There's something there. There's a lot more we could say about this. Of course, I'll try to incorporate more information into these videos. I just don't want to keep these super duper long. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, leave them below in the comments section. If you need more information from me or about me or Maddox Motivations, feel free to visit maddoxmotivations.com. You can check out some information over there. And yeah, guys, take care of yourselves. Remember, self-care, boundaries. Boundaries, they are important for everyone. Parents, children, friends, whoever, co-workers, employers, boundaries. Okay, like that is so important. We'll dig more into that too. All right, y'all. Take care. I will catch y'all on the next one.